All right, so today we are diving into all this research you sent me about the Mediterranean diet.
Yeah, it's quite the hot topic right now.
Well, it's been the top diet for, what, 6 years in a row?
6 years running.
There's got to be something to it, right?
Right.
I mean, we all know it's supposed to be good for your heart, but
Mm-hmm.
this stuff you sent me goes way beyond that.
Yeah.
I'm talking like sleep,
Mm-hmm.
vision, even mental health.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting research coming out.
So before we get into all those potential benefits,
Sure.
could you give us like a quick overview of what the Mediterranean diet actually is?
Yeah, so it's not so much like a strict diet. It's really more of like a way of eating, a lifestyle.
Okay.
Picture yourself in like a sunny Mediterranean village. What's on your plate? You're going to have lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains like barley and farro, legumes,
Yeah.
healthy fats from olive oil and nuts.
Yeah, okay. I'm getting the visual,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounds delicious.
It is. And it's all about abundance. It's not about deprivation. You're enjoying lean proteins like fish and chicken, plant-based protein sources,
Yep.
beans, lentils. You're savoring the flavors of fresh herbs and spices.
That's a good point, because some diets can feel so restrictive. It's
Exactly.
like you can't have this, you can't have that.
Right.
But this feels more like a celebration of good food.
Exactly. It is.
Okay, so let's get into some of those benefits that I mentioned before.
Okay.
The one that really caught my eye was the link between the Mediterranean diet and better sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought diet was mainly about weight or energy levels,
Mm-hmm.
not sleep.
Yeah, it's an interesting connection. But the research suggests that closer adherence to the Mediterranean diet is associated with longer and deeper sleep.
Really?
Yeah.
So how does that work? What's the connection there?
Well, one key factor is that it limits processed foods and refined carbohydrates. Those things can disrupt your sleep patterns because of their impact on blood sugar. Instead, the diet emphasizes foods that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, like walnuts, flax seeds, and fatty fish.
Interesting. So you're telling me swapping my late-night chips for some salmon could actually help me sleep better?
It's worth a try. Those omega-3s, they play a role in the production of melatonin, which is that hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
Huh. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just about avoiding certain foods, but also about actively incorporating those that promote sleep.
Precisely.
All right. Next up, we have inflammation.
Yeah, chronic inflammation.
Right. We hear a lot about that these days.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the Mediterranean diet has something to say about that too.
It does, because chronic inflammation is at the root of so many diseases. And the Mediterranean diet is packed with anti-inflammatory compounds.
Okay.
And a lot of this is due to the emphasis on plant-based foods. They're rich in antioxidants and other nutrients that help combat inflammation.
Okay, so all those fruits and veggies we were talking about,
Exactly.
they're pulling double duty.
Yeah, and then there's also the role of the gut microbiome.
Oh, right. Everyone's talking about the gut these days.
Exactly.
So what's the Mediterranean diet got to do with that?
Well, the diet, with all its fiber-rich foods, promotes a healthy balance of gut bacteria,
Okay.
and a healthy gut microbiome reduces inflammation throughout the body.
Okay, so it's like two birds, one stone.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The research you sent mentions a potential link between the Mediterranean diet and, wait for it, a longer lifespan.
Yeah.
Reduced risk of death from all causes.
It's pretty remarkable, and it comes from a large, long-term study. Of course, we can't say for certain that this diet will guarantee a longer life,
Right.
but the evidence is there.
Okay, so how could this way of eating potentially add years to our lives?
Well, it's likely due to a combination of factors. You've got the antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and fiber from all those plants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the healthy fats. They contribute to cardiovascular health. They help lower cholesterol levels.
Okay.
And then also the diet limits processed foods,
Perfect.
red meat and saturated fat, which are all implicated in those chronic diseases.
All right, it's like a multi-pronged approach.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on to a benefit that I think most people already associate with the Mediterranean diet,
Okay.
heart health.
Yeah.
But the research you sent over focused specifically on women's heart health.
Right. This study found that women who adhered to the Mediterranean diet more closely had a lower risk of heart disease, heart attacks, and stroke.
So what makes it so protective for women's hearts in particular?
It's likely the combination of several factors. The healthy fats improve cholesterol levels, the anti-inflammatory properties protect blood vessels from damage, and the overall emphasis on nutrient-rich foods provides that wide array of vitamins and minerals that support heart health.
Got it. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about brain health.
Okay.
Because this is one area of the research you sent that I found especially intriguing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the connection between what we eat and how our brains function.
Yeah. I mean, the idea that we can impact our brains years down the line through our diet is pretty powerful.
It is, and this study found a strong link between sticking to the Mediterranean diet and a lower risk of developing dementia.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Well, there are several factors at play. First, the diet's anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. They protect brain cells from damage over time.
Uh-huh.
Second, it improves cardiovascular and metabolic health, which means good blood flow to the brain.
So it's like building a strong foundation for cognitive health as we age.
Exactly.
Wow, this is amazing stuff.
It is.
Okay, next up is a potential benefit that I found particularly intriguing.
Okay.
Prostate cancer protection.
Yeah, that's a newer area of research, but the findings so far are pretty promising.
Okay, so what have they found?
Well, one study found that men with prostate cancer had lower levels of certain micronutrients, and these micronutrients are abundant in the Mediterranean diet.
Okay, which ones are we talking about here?
Key players include lycopene, which is found in tomatoes, selenium, found in nuts and grains, and beta-carotene.
Okay, so you're saying that these delicious Mediterranean staples could potentially offer protection against this serious disease.
It's possible. More research is needed, for sure.
Right.
But it highlights the important role that diet can play in cancer prevention.
Absolutely. Okay, this is truly remarkable.
It is.
From sleep to heart health to potentially even cancer protection. This diet seems to cover a lot of ground.
It does.
What's next on our list of amazing benefits?
Well, believe it or not, the Mediterranean diet may also help preserve your vision as you age.
Wait, vision too. This diet is like a superhero.
It kind of is. Research shows that macular degeneration, which is a common cause of vision loss as we age, can be slowed down by this diet.
Oh, wow. How is that even possible?
Well, the Mediterranean diet is rich in nutrients like beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin, all known to be beneficial for eye health. And these are all found in abundance in things like leafy greens, colorful fruits, and vegetables.
Okay, so all those colorful foods and veggies we keep talking about, they're working overtime.
They are.
Protecting our hearts, our brains, and now our eyes.
It's pretty amazing.
I know. I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier about limiting alcohol consumption.
Yeah,
You said it helps protect against macular degeneration.
it does.
And that kind of fits in with the principles of the Mediterranean diet, right?
It does. The diet doesn't completely prohibit alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
but it emphasizes moderation.
Okay, so it's all about balance.
Right.
All right, let's talk about our final benefit. And this one is particularly fascinating to me.
Okay.
Mental well-being.
This is about more than just that general sense of feeling good that comes from eating healthy.
Okay.
There's a deeper connection between this diet and mood.
Interesting. Tell me more.
So there was a study that compared the effects of the Mediterranean diet to what's called befriending therapy.
Okay.
Befriending therapy is all about increasing social support for individuals struggling with depression. The results were surprising. Those following the Mediterranean diet reported better quality of life, even compared to the befriending therapy group.
Really? So food was more effective in boosting mood than social interaction.
In this study, yes.
That's pretty amazing.
It is, and the reasons behind this are complex, but there are a few likely contributors.
I'd love to hear more.
Okay, well first, those nutrient-rich foods directly impact brain function and neurotransmitter production, which of course influences mood and emotional well-being.
Makes sense.
And then there's the fiber. Fiber plays a role in regulating blood sugar levels. Stable blood sugar means more stable energy and mood.
Right, I've definitely noticed that connection myself.
Then, of course, we have the omega-3 fatty acids. They have mood-boosting effects as well.
They really do it all, don't they?
They do.
And then there's the impact on the gut microbiome, right?
Right. We're learning more and more about the gut-brain connection all the time.
It really is amazing how all these systems in the body are interconnected
It is.
and how a holistic approach like this diet can address so many aspects of health at once.
Yeah, it really speaks to the beauty of the Mediterranean diet. It's not about isolating individual nutrients or components. It's about embracing that holistic approach, nourishing the entire body and mind.
I have to say, I'm officially impressed.
I am too.
This diet is so much more than just a passing fad.
Exactly. It's a lifestyle change with a really impressive range of potential benefits.
Absolute. It's empowering to know that we have so much control over our health and well-being through the choices we make every day.
It really is. And one of the most appealing things about the Mediterranean diet is that it's not about rigid rules or deprivation. It's about enjoying delicious, wholesome foods.
Right, making those choices that feel good.
Exactly. And savoring the experience of eating.
Okay, I am sold,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm still curious about the practicalities.
Sure.
What are some concrete steps we can take to incorporate more of this Mediterranean-style eating into our lives?
Well, one of the best places to start is by building your meals around plant-based foods. Think vibrant salads, hearty vegetable soups, lentil stews. The possibilities are really endless.
Okay, I'm already picturing a colorful plate filled with all sorts of delicious, fresh ingredients.
Exactly.
And don't forget about those healthy fats.
Right. Olive oil is a staple. But also consider avocados, nuts, and seeds.
Okay, got it.
And when it comes to protein, prioritize fish, especially those rich in omega-3s like salmon, tuna, and sardines.
Okay.
Chicken and beans are also great options.
So it's not about eliminating meat altogether.
Not at all.
It's about choosing those leaner sources and adding in more plant-based proteins.
Exactly.
Okay, and what about grains?
Choose whole grains, swap out white bread for whole grain varieties, and experiment with things like quinoa, farro, and barley.
Okay, my shopping list is getting longer by the minute.
Good.
I'm excited to try all these new ingredients.
And don't forget about herbs and spices. They add incredible flavor. And they're packed with antioxidants. Think garlic, oregano, basil, turmeric.
So many good flavors.
There are.
Okay, so it's about making those gradual shifts, replacing processed foods with whole, unprocessed options,
That's it.
and embracing the abundance of flavors that the Mediterranean region has to offer.
You got it. And don't forget about the social aspect of food. Sharing meals with loved ones is a big part of the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, invite friends over, cook together, and savor the experience.
It's not just about what we eat,
No,
but also how and with whom we eat it.
that's right.
It's about creating a culture of nourishment.
Exactly.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive.
It
I
has.
feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on the power of the Mediterranean diet.
I'm glad to hear it.
It's been a pleasure exploring this fascinating research with you.
The pleasure was all mine.
And I hope our listeners feel inspired to embrace these principles and experience the transformative potential of this way of eating.
I hope so too.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that our food choices are not just about calories or nutrients. They're about making conscious decisions that support our health, happiness, and longevity.
Beautifully said.
Okay, I think it's time for part 2.
Sounds good.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back with more insights on the Mediterranean diet.
So, it really is about recognizing that food is information.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just fuel.
Right. It's like we're feeding our bodies with information.
Exactly. And the Mediterranean diet is giving our bodies good information.
That's a good way to put it. Okay, so I'm curious, what are some of the challenges people might have when they're trying to adopt this way of eating?
Well, a lot of people think it's expensive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they think, oh, gourmet ingredients, fancy recipes.
Right.
But that's not it at all.
Okay, good.
It's actually very budget friendly
That's good to hear.
because it emphasizes simple, whole foods like legumes, grains, and seasonal produce,
Right.
which tend to be more affordable than all that processed stuff.
Okay, so it's more about shifting your priorities
Exactly.
than like breaking the bank.
Yeah, and another challenge is the time commitment.
Right.
People think, oh, I have to cook everything from scratch.
Yeah.
But there are ways to make it work.
Okay, yeah, because we're all busy.
We are.
Any time-saving tips you can share?
Well, batch cooking is a great one.
Batch cooking, okay.
You can prepare large portions of grains or beans or roasted vegetables on the weekend, and then you've got them ready to go for the whole week.
Oh, that's smart.
It is, and there are also a lot of quick and easy Mediterranean-inspired recipes.
Okay.
Think one-pan meals, salads with those pre-cooked grains and beans, simple pasta dishes.
Yeah, okay.
So it's really about finding a rhythm that works for you.
Right, making it sustainable.
Exactly.
Okay, so any resources you can recommend for people who want to get started?
Well, there's the Mediterranean Diet Pyramid.
Okay.
It's a visual representation of the different food groups,
Right.
and it shows their recommended proportions.
Okay, that's helpful.
It is.
Something to keep in mind when you're at the grocery store.
Exactly.
Okay, what else?
Well, there are tons of online resources,
Of course.
websites, blogs, recipe databases.
So much information out there.
There is,
Okay, so if someone wants to dive deeper, They've got plenty of options.
They do, and don't forget about community.
Oh, right.
Connect with others who are interested in a Mediterranean diet.
Online, in person.
Yeah, it's great for motivation and support.
Yeah, and even recipe ideas.
Exactly.
That's a really good point.
It always helps to have a support system.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about the science, the benefits, the practicalities.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
I think the most important thing to remember is this. The Mediterranean diet is more than just a set of rules. It's a way of life.
Okay, I like that.
It's about connecting to your food, connecting to the people you eat with, connecting to the land that provides our nourishment.
That's beautiful.
It's a holistic approach to well-being.
I agree.
It's something we can all strive for.
Absolutely. Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's one final thought-provoking question you'd like to leave our listeners with?
Okay, I would ask them this. If you could incorporate just one element of the Mediterranean diet into your life today, what would it be?
Okay.
Would you add an extra serving of vegetables to your dinner? Would you swap a sugary drink for a glass of water? Would you try a new herb or spice?
That's a great question.
It is. It encourages people to just take that first step.
Right, no matter how small.
Exactly.
Add it.
Those small changes can make a big difference over time.
Well said. Okay, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
It has been a pleasure.
To our amazing listeners,
Okay.
we hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into the Mediterranean diet. We encourage you to explore this way of eating further, experiment with new flavors, and experience the transformative power of food as medicine.
And remember, this journey is about progress, not perfection.
So true.
Embrace the process, savor the flavors, and enjoy the ride.
I love that. Happy exploring, everyone. We'll be back soon with another deep dive into a fascinating topic. Until then, keep those brains curious and those bellies happy. It really is. It makes you think.
It does, and it's all about taking those little steps.
Yeah.
And seeing how they can really add up.
Absolutely. Well, this has been fantastic.
Yeah.
I've learned so much,
Me too.
and I'm sure our listeners have too.
I hope so.
So to everyone listening,
Yeah.
we encourage you to give the Mediterranean diet a try.
It really is a gift.
It is. Experiment with new flavors. Discover the joy of cooking with fresh, wholesome ingredients.
Absolutely.
And experience for yourself that transformative power of food.
It's amazing what food can do.
Yes, it really is.
This journey is about progress, not perfection.
That's so important to remember.
It is, so embrace the process.
Yeah.
Savor those flavors,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy the ride.
I love that. All right, that's all the time we have for today.
It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure was all mine.
Likewise.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive. But until then, stay curious,
Stay healthy.
and we'll see you next time.